Human nature constantly pushes the boundaries of the possible. Through rare genetic mutations and nerves of steel, certain individuals defy biology. Let us explore 10 extraordinary journeys that redefine our understanding of strength and singularity. Number 10. Mehmet Özürek, The Physiology of Expanding Cartilage. Mehmet Özürek, originally from Turkey, became an iconic figure in world records thanks to a nasal appendage measuring 8.8 centimeters. Beyond the anecdote, his case offers a fascinating glimpse into the biology of cartilage. Unlike bone tissue, which stops growing after puberty, hyaline cartilage, present in the nose and ears, retains remarkable plasticity. In Mehmet, this tissue proliferation reached exceptional proportions without, however, altering his olfactory abilities or his overall health. On a human level, Mehmet transformed what society might perceive as an abnormality into a true asset. By participating in scientific documentaries and cultural programs, he raised public awareness regarding morphological diversity. He often explains that his nose allowed him to see the world differently, to develop a form of self-deprecation, and an unshakable self-confidence. His story teaches us that beauty does not reside in conformity to standards, but in the acceptance of one's own biological architecture. He is proof that one can live in harmony with a major physical difference while leading a fulfilling social and professional life. Number 9. Dylan Lombard, Perseverance in the Face of MDP Syndrome. Dylan Lombard's journey transports us into the complex universe of molecular genetics. Suffering from MDP syndrome, mandibular hypoplasia, deafness, and progeroid features, Dylan is one of the rare cases in the world of a mutation affecting the POLD1 gene. This extremely rare condition prevents the body from storing fatty tissue under the skin, which gives the appearance of premature aging and leads to significant metabolic challenges, as well as progressive hearing loss. For Dylan, daily life is a permanent exercise in adaptation. However, Dylan has never let his diagnosis dictate his limits. He found a universal language in photography. By capturing details invisible to the distracted eye, he compensates for his sensory difficulties with visual hyperacuity. His photographic work, often exhibited and shared on social media, invites contemplation and empathy. For science, Dylan is a precious contributor to the understanding of cellular aging. For us, he is a source of inspiration, proving that art can become a bridge between an isolating biological reality and the rest of the world. His fight is one of visibility for all rare diseases, which, although affecting few individuals, reveal the deepest secrets of our DNA. Number 8. Adrian Lewis, The Muscular Hydrostat and Human Plasticity. Adrian Lewis possesses a rare anatomical peculiarity, a tongue capable of extending over 10 centimeters. This phenomenon perfectly illustrates the concept of the muscular hydrostat, a system where muscles function without bony support, creating a flexibility close to that of cephalopods or an elephant's trunk. In Adrian, the coordination between the intrinsic and extrinsic muscles of the tongue allows for movements of disconcerting precision, defying the classic laws of buccal motor skills. Adrian has known how to use the digital age to transform his singularity into a message of body positivity. On his platforms, he uses humor to deconstruct complexes linked to physical anomalies. He often reminds us that what makes us weird in the eyes of some is actually what makes us unique. His case interests specialists in myofunctional rehabilitation because it shows the unsuspected capacities of the human tongue. By assuming his difference with such assurance, he encourages an entire generation to no longer be afraid of breaking the mold. He proves that anatomical originality, when embraced, becomes a powerful engine for communication and human connection. Number 7. Romario dos Santos Alves, The Lesson of Reconstruction. The story of Romario dos Santos Alves is a vital testimony to mental health and the drifts of self-image. A former bodybuilder, Romario sank into body dysmorphia, seeking artificial muscle growth through injections of dangerous substances. This process nearly cost him his life and both arms, as his muscles turned into solid and necrotic masses. His case has become a global medical warning against the use of unregulated synthetic products. Romario's redemption is what makes his story deeply educational. After coming close to amputation, he began a long process of withdrawal and psychological therapy. Today, He uses his notoriety to warn young athletes about the dangers of bigorexia, addiction to muscle building. He explains that true strength is not found in a superhuman appearance, but in the balance between body and mind. His courage in speaking about his mistakes makes him an ambassador for authentic health. He demonstrates that one can rebuild oneself after a trauma, and that honesty toward oneself is the first step toward a healthy and serene life. Number 6. Matilda Hatton, Science at the Service of Hope. Matilda Hatton is a young girl whose courage illuminates the world of genetic research. Affected by extremely rare syndromes, Seckle syndrome and Brenner syndrome, Matilda exhibits a small stature and chronic health challenges. Rather than suffering from the disease in the shadows, Matilda and her family have become major players in precision medicine. By participating in large-scale genomic sequencing projects, they help scientists identify the mutations responsible for these developmental disorders. Each step in Matilda's life is a scientific victory. Despite her physical fragilities, she radiates a vital energy that inspires those around her. Her story highlights the crucial importance of family support and technological innovation in the management of orphan diseases. Matilda is not defined by her symptoms. She is a symbol of resilience. Thanks to her, researchers are progressing in the understanding of human growth and hepatic metabolism. Her smile is a constant reminder that, even in the face of medical uncertainty, dignity and hope remain the fundamental pillars of existence. Number 5. The sisters Kirsty and Catherine Fields, Identity Beyond Silence. Kirsty and Catherine Fields are the only people in the world to suffer from the pathology that bears their name, Fields condition. This extremely rare degenerative neuromuscular disease gradually deprives the body of all voluntary motor control. For these two Welsh sisters, the simple act of breathing or eating is a daily feat. Medicine has long been perplexed by this unique condition, making them primary case studies for neurology. Yet the strength of this duo resides in their refusal to be reduced to their condition. Using alternative communication technologies, they chose distinct synthetic voices to assert their own personalities. One chose an American accent, the other an Australian one, thus marking their individuality beyond their twinship. Their life is a lesson in applied philosophy. They prove that the human spirit is irreducible, even when the body becomes a prison of silence. Their complicity and humor, despite the pain and fatigue, command admiration. They remind us that access to technology is a fundamental human right that allows for the restoration of speech and social interaction. Number 4. Emma Fogarty, The Strength of the Butterfly Woman. Emma Fogarty is a leading figure in the fight against epidermolysis bullosa, EB, a genetic disease where the skin is as fragile as a butterfly's wing. The slightest contact causes wounds similar to third-degree burns. Emma lives in a perpetual cycle of care, bandages, and intense pain. In Ireland, she has become the voice of those who are not seen, fighting so that treatments are accessible and research progresses. Her commitment is exemplary. As an ambassador for the Deborah Association, she has raised millions of euros for medical research. At 40 years old, she has accomplished physical challenges that seemed impossible for her condition, demonstrating a mental resilience beyond the ordinary. Emma does not ask for compassion. She demands change. She teaches the world that vulnerability can be transformed into a powerful political and social force. Her daily struggle is a reminder of the value of every moment and the need for solidarity toward those fighting invisible chronic pain. Number 3. Nick Stobrel, When Difference Becomes a Paintbrush. Nick Stobrel holds the record for the longest tongue in the world, but he chose to use this attribute to revolutionize artistic expression. Nicknamed Licasso, he paints canvases using his tongue as a creative tool, protected by a sterile film. This playful and creative approach to his physical peculiarity is a lesson in self-reappropriation. Instead of limiting himself to being a subject of curiosity, he has become a respected performance artist. Nick shows that innovation is often born where it is least expected. By hijacking an unusual physical characteristic to make it an instrument of culture, he breaks the barriers between the normal and the extraordinary. On YouTube, he shares his painting techniques and his daily life with contagious enthusiasm. He encourages everyone to explore their own hidden talents and to never be ashamed of what makes us different. His message is clear. Creativity is the ultimate tool for transforming any constraint into an opportunity for genius and sharing. Number 2. Rumeysa Gelgui, a giant's perspective on the world. Rumeysa Gelgui, with her stature of over 2.15 meters due to Weaver syndrome, is an indefatigable advocate for inclusion. Her exceptional height is accompanied by heavy skeletal complications, but she refuses to let them slow her down. She uses her international visibility to speak about the ergonomic and social challenges faced by tall or disabled people. For her, being the tallest woman in the world is not an end in itself, but a platform for education. Rumeysa speaks at conferences to explain how to adapt the urban and technological environment to bodily diversities. She advocates for a society where kindness replaces misplaced curiosity. Her determination to travel, work, and express herself publicly despite physical obstacles is a source of inspiration for all those who feel marginalized. She embodies dignity and elegance, proving that the greatness of a soul far exceeds the physical measurement of one's body. Her journey is a plea for a more accessible world that is more respectful of every singularity. Number 1. Jason Rodriguez, walking with resilience. Jason Rodriguez from Venezuela possesses the largest feet in the world due to acromegaly, a condition linked to an overproduction of growth hormones by the pituitary gland. This condition requires strict medical monitoring to avoid cardiac and joint complications. Despite these major health challenges, Jason maintains an optimism that commands respect. He has had to learn to cope with a world that is not his size, from clothing to public transportation. Jason's story is also one of international solidarity. His shoes, unique pieces of engineering, are often gifted by specialized artisans touched by his story. Jason uses his notoriety to raise awareness about the early detection of hormonal disorders, which can be treated if diagnosed in time. He has become a symbol of vitality in his country, showing that even in the face of economic and physical difficulties, the joy of living can remain intact. By walking with pride, he reminds everyone that our path is not defined by the size of our steps, but by the direction we choose to give to our lives. Number 11. A moment of unforeseen cases. This image illustrates the modern fascination with visual shock in the digital age. Between special effects and artificial intelligence, these distorted faces and oversized tongues explore the limits of human perception. This is not a medical reality, but an artistic staging of the strange. In a world saturated with images, exaggeration becomes a tool for capturing the ephemeral attention of the internet user. This work questions our relationship with extreme aesthetics and the malaise it provokes. It is a metaphor for digital transformation, an altered humanity, seeking to stand out through the distortion of its own image in order to exist. These accounts demonstrate that our only limits are those we impose upon ourselves. Each singularity is a latent force waiting to be awakened. By celebrating these miracles, we together redefine the highest peaks of the universal human experience.